All right, we're gonna try to see if we can get the valves off. Watched a couple videos. They recommend putting a hose clamp around that to keep it from, I think he said, splaying. So I'm gonna figure out how to do it, and then I will get a quick video of some. All right, I'm starting on the number one, and I found an issue already. I don't know if this is the best way to do it, but the valve is trying to fall down. So I'm gonna lift this up, put some pressure on it, and hopefully it's either. Yeah, there we go. Well, I'm gonna have to find something hard. No. Okay, I found a. Let me not talk for a minute. Magnetic tray. It's got a rubber backing so I don't scar the valve. Man, this thing makes me nervous. There, it was hanging up on me. Okay. I magnetized a screwdriver. It's not strong enough. Okay, these little retainers are out. Now I'm just gonna ease it back up. All right, this is like a $23 tool from O'Reilly's. And it's not my favorite because these are what push it on the top, but they're not. I think I need to bend them up. They're just barely catching it. And that's how it just slid off there, is exactly what I was afraid of. So I'm probably gonna bend those more flat so it will move them out. But there we go. That's the first valve, which that was intake. And we are going to lap these. I'm going to do some more reading, but if these valves work, I don't want to replace them if they're sufficient. But if we do keep them, we're going to lap them. I'm not sure if you have to lap them if you get new ones. I just haven't gotten that far yet. All right, I'm not going to make this a very long video. I just wanted to get that process. One part I left out. What I'm doing is I just numbered 8 different Ziplocs, and I don't think it matters where these go. So I'm going to throw everything, the exhaust and the intake valve and the springs and retainers, and they're all just going to be in a Ziploc bag. So I'm going to have a total of 8 bags, 2 valves each. And there's no reason to number them because you can obviously see the intake valve is substantially bigger than the exhaust. This is valve spring removal on a 6-liter LS. I've gotten 2 down, so I think I'm starting to figure it out. Step 1, you're going to need to put something underneath where the chamber is, the combustion chamber, to push up on the valve because it will want to fall down. So this is just a magnetic tray that's got a plastic rubbery base. You don't want to do something that'll scratch it up, the aluminum and the steel both. So this is 1, 2, 3. Okay. This is not my favorite tool. I used to use a bigger one, but it's been so long I don't know where to find them. I don't know what they're called. So I oiled this up. It's brand new, so I oiled it up real well because there's a lot of tension on it. didn't know what that was until I started doing it. This one will pick up one of the, so there's a spiral, and as it spirals it goes up. So you're going to find out where those fit tight as close to the bottom as possible. All right, that feels like it's grabbing real well. So make sure it stays centered up on the spring. Actually, it's like a spring retainer, like a big fat washer essentially. Now this is the trick that I really wanted to show, because I think it's doing it again. So I was cranking and cranking and cranking. I was like, it's not moving at all. The valve is seized up on the retainers. So once you get a few decent cranks, that's probably actually enough. I'm going to tap the top of that retainer. There it goes. That gives me the slack that I need to reach in there with a magnet. Oh, maybe 1 or 2 cranks more. I'm squeezing this so it doesn't pop open. Okay, that's definitely enough. Well, it has been the last couple. Couple more cranks. That, third time's a charm. It's a half circle. And now we're free. That's it. Take this off. Well, I'll just do it in real time. Twisting it counterclockwise. Now I'm interested to see here. I had a thought, and this will confirm it or not. Okay, the last one, there was so much slack, there was still too much tension, so I had to hammer it out. When you back this thing out all the way, go a couple turns, because when the spring uncompresses, that distance is going to be farther and it's going to be pretty tight. I don't think it's the end of the world, but it's just something I just noticed. All right, pick this up, push the valve, and there we go. And it's ready to be serviced. All right, well, that's how you use this particular spring compressor. I think it's from Performance Tool from O'Reilly. It's $22.99-ish. All right, I had actually forgotten that a lot of the exhaust bolts were broken off inside the head. This one's sticking out through some channel locks, and it actually did back out. And there's one that's flush here. I have this. I knew I did. I just didn't know if it was going to work. I'm going to see if I can use this screw extractor to pull this out. The only thing I'm concerned with, this says use a left-handed drill bit. I don't have a left-handed drill bit. So I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going to drill this out with a regular drill bit and try to use that. I had forgotten about it, so there's probably some over here too. Yeah, one right there. One right there. That sucks, man. I'm nervous about these. Last thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a tiny drill bit, and then I'm going to step it up to a bigger drill bit so that I can try to keep it as centered as possible. All right, I'll let you know how it goes. I cannot believe what just happened. So I was doing my thing, loosening it, and it was coming out pretty easily, and it just snapped off flush. So now I'm worried I'm going to have to take it to a machine shop and spend $200 to get those pulled out. Because what I'm worried about is if I drill it and screw it up, it might make it even worse. So I'm going to think about this for a second, but I think I'm going to try on one. But the fact that that just broke really changed my outlook on this. I stepped it up with 3 or 4 bits, and I went too wide. So I stopped, I measured the depth, because I do not want to drill through this head. I don't know what's on the other side, probably something very vital. So I measured the depth of this and taped off the drill bit so that I would not push through to whatever's on the other side. I went about half that distance, and I just hooked this up. I hammered it in there. So you take the bit, hammer it in there, and then you start backing it out, and it's actually working. So that's why I want to get on camera. Oh, thank you, Lord. So these actually do work. Oh gosh, I was so worried. I was more worried about drilling too far and hitting a combustion chamber. Oh, beautiful. All right, so, oh, I had a lot more to go. Wow, okay. Well, there we go. Crappy bolt. Shame on you, GM. Shame on you. Charge us the extra $50 to do grade A bolts. Pass the cost on to the consumer. I'm pretty sure most people would rather have highest quality. Actually, you know what? That's a good example of like a difference between a Mercedes and General Motors. That kind of stuff right there is just a small example of the difference. Mercedes bolts don't break off like that. Number 2. I am truly surprised how well this worked. All right, I'm not going to show the other two. I'm hoping and anticipating them doing the same thing. That's how to remove broken bolts inside aluminium heads. Watched a video on redoing heads. There is a special tool to take these out, but it looked to me like pliers would work just fine. Oh yeah, wow, okay. Yeah, they just lift right off. I'm not even putting that much pressure on it, because I did see that they have tubes, so I didn't want to push the I forgot what he called them. They're valve stem seals or something. But yeah, these are going to be replaced. I'm surprised at how little of pressure that needs. Oh wow, this one's really junky. I wonder if that's indicative of a problem. It's got a lot of carbon on it. Oh yeah, that's a lot of carbon. Clean, pretty clean, pretty clean, pretty clean. And then bam. So that one might have been cracked or something, and yeah, look at that all down in there. Compared to, wow. So that something was going on. Somehow carbon was getting in there where it wasn't getting the other ones. Now I don't know where those O-rings are. Oh, there it is. It's a metal O-ring. Wonder. I hope it doesn't mean that the metal part is cracked. Once I take it to the machine shop, hopefully I can bring it up to them and maybe they can shed some light on it. All right, that's it. I had to get this on camera. That is completely caked with carbon. That one's clean, see? That's whatever that's made out of. Feels like metal or hard plastic. That is completely caked. I don't know what that means. but that's thick. All right, so intake, yeah. Intake. This other one was intake. It was stuck on here though. I don't know what it is, but that is some really heavy carbon buildup, and it's only on the intakes. So I'm gonna do some reading on that and see what the cause of that is, so I can hopefully prevent it. And hopefully there's nothing particularly wrong with these heads. But that covers that. We've got two stuck bolts over on this head as well. And these look like they're going to be more difficult because this one is inside. Well, actually both of them are inside. And the thing I'm scared of, it's broken off at an angle and it's already hard. Even if it's perfectly flat, it's hard to start a drill bit straight. It wants to walk around. So this is probably going to be 3 times as hard with it inside and crooked. Oh man, both of them. These might end up going to the machine. Well, these are going to go to the machine shop. I would just prefer not to have to spend $100 a bolt or whatever it is. I don't know what it costs. But I'm going to give it a whirl. Oh my gosh, I ran into some problems. I'm only on the 3rd one. This is that one head. This is going to be darn near impossible. I broke probably 4 drill bits. Fortunately, that's all it got me. I thought I'd put it through my hand, but I got the Dremel after it. I had 2 or 3 different Dremel attachments, and the hard part is getting it centered up. I use nails, screws, because they have a real pointed tip, and once you get it a tiny little tip started, then you can just get bigger and bigger. But I could not get it to start, and then when it started to grab, it went sideways, so I had to take the Dremel and move the hole over. And this is some hard steel, obviously not strong enough, but it was hard. So it is coming out. This one is coming out, but I don't think I have what it takes here to get that last one out. That's the farthest in. So I wanted to document this because this was a pain, huge pain, and I'm not even done. So I'm not exactly celebrating. So I just want to get this on camera because I will probably forget this, but I want to watch this and remember the kind of trouble I went through to get these things right. I sure am going to sleep a lot better tonight. This is the 4th one and it is coming out. I don't want to go through the whole list of everything I had to use, but it damaged my Dremel. I don't know why. I've only used this thing maybe 3 times tops, and it's only for a little bit. I was grinding it flat because it was so bumpy. I was grinding it flat so that I could start to put a point on it, and this thing went from, it only works now on 10. It doesn't work the variable. So that's a piece of shit. I have not used that barely ever. 20 different nails, 20 different screws to get it to dent, to start the screw. All that to say, it is turning. So I want to emphasize what a pain this was, but how thankful I am they all came out. I'm pissed about my Dremel, but the Dremel had nothing to do with this. The Dremel was going to break regardless. Made in China bullcrap. But I'm going to sleep better tonight knowing that these things are out of here, and I'm probably going to take it to the machine shop tomorrow, but I might not. I don't know. I kind of want them to clean it and just look at them. The guy really pissed me off. I didn't want to go and do a video on it because he really pissed me off, and I didn't want to rant, but it's a little closer to my house, and he does know a little bit about LS motors, so there's a good chance I'll just suck it up because I have to, because there aren't any machine shops around, which is ridiculous. I'm strongly considering actually starting a machine shop. But anyway, I just wanted to finish up this head video. I'll probably just do this on a separate video tearing down the heads. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. One last thing to note, this is steel. The head is aluminum. And this is why I don't like aluminum. It's so fragile. I laid this down and I swept this thing off 20 times. And I laid this down on the sides and the edge, and I could see little shreds of, you know, the screw, the steel, pushed into the head. So that's an issue. So my instinct was right to put this cardboard down, because that's steel also. So this would absorb some of the pressure. But all that to say, if you're going to deal with aluminum, be very gentle with it. It's pathetically weak. I mean, I know it's lighter, but I honestly would rather have steel and not have to worry about it. But here we are. It's aluminum. All right, I'm going to end this video out. The heads are completely stripped. I think there's some freeze plugs in there. I don't know how to get those out. I'm not sure. I'll talk to the guy at the machine shop about that. But valve guide seals, I think that's what they're called, those are out. I'm going to talk to him about the carbon buildup on just a few. And if I'm going to do it in the future on a future motor, and I probably will do some on this, but I watched some videos on cleaning these heads up, and there's this stuff called gasket cleaner, and it just strips this off. If I wasn't worried about this thing being, I'm not worried about it, but the only reason I'm taking this to the machine shop is to make sure it's flat. I have some straight edges that I put on here that I know are flat, and it looked straight, but they've got some sophisticated machinery that can pick up on thousandths of an inch that I just need to have this right. He said it's $75 to $100 per head. That's reasonable, given they have a monopoly on the equipment. And just to have it cleaned, honestly, is worth $100. So that's it. I stuck with it. I really didn't want to, but I'm glad I did. Like everything else, it's difficult. You feel better when you're done. But we all have clean holes now, so the exhaust manifold will bolt right up to it. Last thing, the exhaust manifold did crack. I think, one, it's not going to be a big deal, but two, if it is, I can weld it, because that's the kind of metal I can weld that doesn't have to be pretty. Third, we're only going to have those manifolds on probably for a short time, because I will be turbocharging this engine, and I'll probably get turbocharger headers. So I guess that was 3, not 2. All right, I'm going to sign off. All right, I have got to get this on camera. If you doubt that this steel rusts quickly, you're wrong. There's a mark right here. There's several of them, but this one I'm pointing out, that's literally from me just dragging my finger across it yesterday. You can see the spots, and I completely coated this in WD-40 to see if it would keep it from rusting, and clearly not. Yeah, you can see the little speckles everywhere. So I am gonna get some 530 and just completely coat it with a rag. All right, this is gonna be a really quick clip. It's pertaining to the machine shop. Talked to the guy yesterday. It's a really long story. I'm not gonna go into it, but basically the guy really pissed me off. He wouldn't shut up. I couldn't ask the questions. He literally went through this whole spiel of all these things I didn't need to know that I already knew, and he wouldn't even stop to let me ask my questions. I was so aggravated, I swore I wouldn't go there. But he did sound like he knew what he was talking about. So I broke down, kind of because I had to. There's only one other machine shop, and it's in another town. I said, I'm just going to roll the dice and see what happens. I got there at about 12:30. And I got home at 2:15. That's how long he talked to me. So he doesn't have a personality flaw. He just talks a lot. He had a lot to say about everything. So we ended up talking for over an hour and a half. Well, he was talking for an hour and a half. I think he's going to be a good machine shop, though. When I walked in, I immediately knew that's my kind of machine shop. I've been in dozens of machine shops, and you can tell the guys that have been doing it a while. You know, when they have stuff from the 60s, 70s, 80s, all the way up to the modern times stacked up on the walls, they've been around. So that's the story of the machine shop. Oh, and the other reason he pissed me off is I was telling him about the YouTube video. He would not let me do any video at all. And the way he said it was kind of offensive, off-putting, I guess. Oh, blah, 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 we ain't going to be doing no filming up in here or something. Not quite like that, but just the way he said it was strange. It worked out. Well, it's worked out so far. So I took the block and the heads. I just want to go through the list real quick and how much it is going to possibly cost. Clean the heads, $100. This is for both of them. Mill the heads, $150. Clean the block, $100. Hone the block if we can. And this is just standard bore. Hopefully keep the standard size, the 4-inch bore, $100. R&R the cam bearings and OG. I don't remember what the OG is, but it's $50. The performance cam bearings are $150, which that's high. But I did look on Summit, and it goes from like $30 to $150. So the barbell that's in the back that I still don't know what it's for, $10. And to deck the block is $200. Total of $860. I gave him a deposit of $500, so I still owe $360. That's under $1,000 for all that stuff. And I do want to touch on real quickly. I just want to get the thought out before the future comes. Yeah. I was not intending to have the block decked or the heads decked. But he kind of did talk me into it because he's saying, yeah, it would probably work if you're just doing stock. But since I will be forcing a lot of extra horsepower, he would not dream of doing it without decking. So for what I think it was, so for $350, we're going to know for sure that the deck surfaces are flat. I think that's worth it since this is going to be many thousands of dollars. I don't know. I'm kind of getting the cart in front of the horse. If he can't hone it, I forgot how much he charges to bore it, but I'm sure it's several $100s. But for all the machine work, best case scenario, it's going to be $860. I really wanted to do some filming in there because it's a legit machine shop. But he didn't want to. So he's just quirky. He's not a bad dude. He's just different. And I'll respect that because I'm the same way, quite frankly. I don't like people filming. I wouldn't want people filming. I probably would in this circumstances, but in general, I don't want some stranger filming in my office or something. So I'm not mad at him anymore. I will be mad if he messes something up or, oh, please, I don't want him to find a crack in the block or something. But all right, at this point I'm ranting. I just want to do the machine shop section. I don't know exactly where I'm going to fit it in. I might do it with the heads. I'm doing a heads video. Yeah, that would be appropriate because the head video is not very long. I'll throw this in the end of it, and that will cover the machine shop portion. All right, that's all I got.